Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast. It is a winner's lounge.
Can we say per?
More. The Rapids get the dub on Drew Moor night. Big win, first home win of the season. Drew Moor joins the Gallery of Honor. Maxsø gets his first goal of the season. Galvan gets his first goal since 2021. Rapids finally win at home. I already said that, but I got to keep saying it because it's crazy. First, they had their first lead at home since May 13th. What else am I missing? Duane's least favorite team lost.
Yes.
I still don't understand that.
Both of my least favorite teams lost.
We got a lot to break down, but first we got to introduce the fellas. It's super. Yeah.
I'm happy, Yahya. I'm a little tired, Yahya, but I am excited. This game gave me so much confirmation bias.
Gotta love it, baby. And of course, it's vacation town Duane Brown.
I have not packed anything.
And you
Just
leave
been
in
getting
like
ready for soccer.
a few hours?
Early in the morning, 8 o'clock maybe.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Shout out to everybody waiting in the chat. We're going late. We got Judgmental Jim. Shout out to our guy, B-Ray, Grant, Mavian. I'm going
Mavian? I thought it was Mavillain.
Mavillain.
That's what I want it to be.
But villain spelled wrong. So, either way, psyched you guys are riding with us. We get a winner's lounge, dudes, for the first time since
May 18th, I think.
For the first time since May, we get a winner's lounge. They won. The Rapids did it. They won at home. They completely changed the lineup. Completely. It was a new look. You started.
Mavian.
Okay.
I
was right. Kevin's in here. What up, Kevin? We started Calvin Harris on the left, Braian Galvan on the right, Yappy in the middle. Andrew Gutman, fresh to a mile high, plays 90 plus, runs the whole time. That beautiful bald head of his. He looked great. Guys, where do you want to start?
I always want to start with the bad to get it out of the way, especially in a game like this.
Okay.
And
what specifically?
There's one player specifically that.
Oh no.
And we already know where it's going. Lalas.
I don't know. I don't want to say it though.
I know, and it sucks because I love Lalas, but I think it does have to be addressed because this game. The only reason this game was close, it was because of that own goal.
Right.
Because besides that, the Rapids utterly dominated. And if it wasn't for that, it might have been 2-0, 3-0, honestly. And I just want to get it out there. I want to get out the way. I don't want to focus on it. I just want the people to know that we acknowledge it. It was a really, really bad game from Lalas, and it just wasn't that. And all the way around, from his touches offensively, and then from his decision making from the back, was not great today either.
No. Honestly, playing it out of the back was not good for the Rapids tonight.
Very
interesting. I think the complete opposite.
Why?
Because I thought they got out of situations quicker.
Yeah, but it was just because you had to pull Galvan had to pull crazy stuff out of his bag. There were some turnovers. It was Lalas Gutman had a really bad turnover early playing out of the back. I just don't think it was as smooth as it could have been.
The fans sitting around me who were not normal because the people who were normally there were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So these were, new-ish Rapids fans were making a lot of comments about the Rapids in the back, playing it out of the back, and just kind of putzing around with the ball and giving Dallas opportunities to take it away and put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
So these are people that knew the Rapids, but clearly not regular watchers, picked up on it immediately in the first half.
my biggest thing with it was I thought they actually got out of it more than they actually made the mistake. And if they did make
Sure.
a mistake, they were rapidly able to like recover and not give up a chance or anything. Which in the past, you see them play out of the back, and there's way more mistakes than there are actually chances that are created. As soon as they broke that pressure from Dallas, I thought they did a really good job of immediately running up, and that's how Mikey got that chance in the second half. That's how he got a lot of these fast breaks because they were able to break the Dallas.
Oh, poor Mikey, dude. Poor Mikey. Rest in peace, Mikey's speed.
He still has it. It's just that
was-
guy also had it.
That was
Oh,
That
Mikey
was
looks
so bad.
slow
so
comparatively.
so bad.
Mikey looks
2021
slow.
Mikey is alone and buries that. That's okay. Time catches everybody.
I mean,
It's okay.
it is what it is.
Let's get into the good stuff because talking about the bad stuff.
Wait, before
Um,
we get into the good stuff, I think we need a moment of silence.
Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
Really
they
hit
went
me
at home.
right there. Right there.
Let's talk Gutman. He comes in, immediately starts at left back. They go 4 back with Lalas, Maxsø, Keegan, and Gutman. Positives. Very aggressive moving up. Some nice crosses. Long throws. We can go long throw on either side. We don't have to wait for Keegan to run across the field for a long throw. Gutman can just do it.
I do love that though. I love the Keegan run across the field.
Well, sure. Quick note. Yappy did not officially take that shot because the penalty was called. So he did not wando it officially.
Officially, it was a wando.
But officially, he wandoed that so hard. You might have to call it Yappy in it now because that was like
literally right in front of 6 inches away, went 20 feet over the crossbar, and I'm like, how?
Bro is cursed. Cursed. No, okay, Gutman. What was your guys' first thoughts? Not first thoughts. Your thoughts after his first game.
I was really impressed on how he was able to go back into the center, become a midfielder, and how he was covering also for Harris, and how Harris was covering for him. I thought Gutman offensively was everything advertised and more. He was getting the crosses in. He was finding the spaces. He was making the right runs at the right time. He was reading the game as the game came to him. Defensively, again, we kind of already knew what he was. There was times where he kind of like was out of position or he was way too out to one side. But overall, I think it was an A+ game because you could really tell the Rapids focused on that left side to the point that you barely even saw Galvan play on the right side with Keegan. And that just goes to show how much Harris and Gutman came in and changed that whole left side of the game.
I mean, the first 20 minutes was just the Rapids working that left side, sending crosses in. Really, really nice to see. Honestly, really. Duane, how about you? Gutman, thoughts?
He's all good, man. He is so good. I love having him on the Rapids.
You were putting in our Slack channel about 120 hours ago. You were pissed.
Watching him come up. I know I was wrong on my initial thoughts. I couldn't be more wrong. So let me put that out there.
Cool.
But watching him be able to be a guy on the outside who can put a good cross in was exciting, made me happy, gave me hope for the future of goals happening. He's a bulldog when it comes to playing in the midfield and challenging for the ball. One of the things that I think is most important for him is that he wins headers. We struggle on that as Rapids because we don't have a lot of height or a lot of ups from a lot of our players. And Gutman is a guy who was going up and winning balls in the air a lot and consistently. The last thing I will say, and Yahya kind of touched on it a little bit, is that 13 and 14 are an excellent combination. Having Gutman and Harris play off of each other and cover
liked it
for
a
each
lot.
other and get the ball back and forth to each other was awesome. Like the
Loved it.
13-14 combo is fantastic. Just both of those guys were getting good crosses in. Man, the first half was great. Just
Yeah.
really watching him and make his mark on the Rapids was awesome. I'm so
I
glad
was-
he's here.
The biggest thing about Gutman that I really like is one of my favorite players out in Europe in Arsenal is Zinchenko. I love the role where he can be a left back, run all the way to the left, do the overlap runs, and get open there. But he can also turn into a midfielder and be a holding defensive midfielder, turn into an 8, all in the same game while still covering all that space. And I felt like Gutman was like, again, not in a mean way, just not the high quality version of that, but a player that could definitely kind of fill that role where he can be in the midfield, out in the wings, and come back and forth. And that's something I think Frazier has been looking for because he's leaning with Bombito that he's tried to put him out in and out, kind of the same spaces. So now I'm going to be really excited to see that with Gutman and then maybe a Bombito Maxsø back line. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for that back four with Maxsø, Bombito, Lalas, or Maxsø, Bombito, Keegan, and Gutman. That is going to be fun as hell. Let's see. Maxsø, our guy, our Danish king.
Finally.
Maxsø.
He didn't even have to jump for the header. It was the perfect cross into him. He just had to run. Didn't have to jump, just had to run and missile of a header into the no doubter. Gets his first goal. God, it felt good. That felt really good to see. I imagine coming from a successful club like Brøndby to then start a season like this. I'm sure he was pissed.
For sure.
You can tell.
It just had to feel good for him to finally see one go in the back of the net on these set pieces.
Overall,
Overall, I
on
thought,
set pieces also was just insane that you haven't had that all year.
yeah, they've had 2 so far, so that was their third. Which I still think they lead the league in XG on set pieces, which is crazy. And they've only scored 3. But man, it was everyone on press row was you could tell it was like everyone knew what it meant, right? It's like
It was euphoric to some extent.
correct. So you go into half 1-1. Harris played his most minutes in a game as a Rapid. He started against Cincinnati, but only played the half. So he gets a start, goes 60. I thought he was pretty good. I mean, it's going to take a while. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He's a young kid. But I liked what I saw from him, especially when you're thinking about how the Wings have played over the last, 6 weeks or something like that.
Dude was consistent getting the ball in.
Yeah.
Like, it just we still are searching for someone to be there when the ball gets there.
He's big too. And you don't really notice
yeah.
it in training, but you see it in that game. He is, well, I mean, especially when you see Mikey and Lewis come in for him, you're like, well, we gave up like a lot of size on that substitution. What do you think about Harris tonight? Yeah.
I think he might be the answer that the Rapids are looking for.
I think so too.
He might be. To me, it feels like he's everything Cabral was advertised.
Wow.
That kind of like this dude actually read the game correctly, made the right runs. Again, I'm a big runs guy. I like a guy that knows when the time is runs and get to those outside edges as quickly as
Giassi
possible.
appreciator.
Very much. Love Giassi. And that's exactly what we saw from Harris. He was overlapping, underlapping, crossing into the inside. He was communicating with Cole. And I love that little trio that they created on that first half. We had a Cole, a Harris, and a Gutman. And they were just playing the triangle game. They were playing the beautiful game. They were covering each square of that little pitch, but they were controlling that little square. And that's what you want to see. You want to see people that can control the ball, not be afraid to take somebody on. I wrote notes for this game, something I'm trying to do new so I can remember. And back to back, I had 2 little notes that said Gutman, saucy. And then right underneath that, Harris, saucy because they both took on player defenders 1-on-1, and they were making the right crosses. They were making the right read every time. My only issue with Harris was that 1-on-1 he had with the goalkeeper, he just didn't shoot it.
Sure,
took
he
too
needed
long.
to pull the trigger. Yeah,
But that's such a small
Yeah.
blimp in a win after you played so well. And I think he might be your left winger. And I think you found a starting lineup that's going to actually propel you into the next level if you keep playing like this. And maybe you can actually get some chemistry, get some synchronicity, and maybe start building something for next year, the year after.
maybe have a certain Brazilian striker up top. Maybe
Dude, I
Possibly.
was just thinking the whole time, like, you have
Maybe.
Navarro, huge dude.
instead of
Just-
Yappy who couldn't hit water from a boat.
But the thing is, like, Yappy is, and you had a great point at the beginning of the year. You tried to calm us down so much on the Yappy hype, and I was like, no, Yappy. But he is only 18. He is barely getting going. He is a young kid.
Sure,
something
he's
that
a kid. He's a kid.
Exactly. And you said it at the beginning of the year. You're like, he has very little minutes. If you put a player, a goal scorer like Navarro, or somebody that's more his style of play in front of him,
Oh God.
and helps him teach him how to play, and then you got a Yappy Navarro kind of duo, and then if
You could
miraculously,
go two strikers up top. You could. I mean, there's a lot of combinations there.
and then miraculously somehow Rubio comes back and he's your Super 10.
Oh,
Now you're cooking with gasoline, dude, and now you're actually creating like an offense that you might get excited about on paper at least.
the penalty. Bassett goes to pick up the ball. Galvan picks it up and literally shoves him away. There was no chance Galvan wasn't taking it. Bassett really wanted to. I would have been correct on my prediction, by the way, if Bassett had taken the penalty. But for Galvan to step to the spot, hasn't scored since August of 2021, so almost 2 calendar years. Hadn't scored a goal. Went through a gnarly injury. Spotty minutes, suspensions, red cards. Comes in with the Panenka. Just welcome back to the score sheet, my guy. Oh, Duane, you were right down there. You're in that corner.
I have it on. Yeah.
What walk me through that. Walk me through that moment. What was it? What was the crowd like? What'd you see there? What's it feel like to have him back scoring? Because you are a Galvan guy.
I am a Galvan guy. Yeah. I mean, it's everything you would expect it to be down on that end. You know, like it was a good crowd tonight. You know, to be able to take a penalty shot with C38 behind the goal, it's just it's the best possible situation for anybody, just anybody to watch the Rapids, to be a fan of the Rapids, to be able to take one on the goal by C38 with that corner. You know, the crowd was into it. Everybody was excited because it's like, oh my gosh, we could take a lead here. We might win a game at home, you know, and I'm not trying to like, you know, get it from the bottom level, but I mean, there's reason for excitement just in that. So, you know, and for him to score the way that he did, when I just had it in my head, kick it as hard as you can. And then, you know, he just puts in this hilarious goal that just is beautiful and just pops, you know, this beautiful little rainbow arc. It was awesome, you know.
And
so
to just
it was
erase the Yappy goal from memory too, right? Like that was another thing too. Was like we were all just up in the box, like Yappy's never. If he couldn't score that, Yappy will never score a goal, right? Like that was. We literally all turned to each other and we're like, "This is never happening. It's never gonna happen."
He could have just rolled in and it would have been a goal. He didn't have to put a foot on it. He could have just touched any part of his body gently and it would have been a goal. Like that's how crazy that is.
There was one from Gutman also that was on a corner
the corner
down in
where
there.
it hit his arm.
If he
armed it in,
if he had just been standing 6 inches in a different spot, he could have put a head on that. And you know, there were good options. You know, I still want to see us score a goal that's not from a penalty or a set piece. But I love that we're scoring. And I love that, you know, and Bassett had a really nice, I mean, it went way wide. So it
Yep,
depends
I
on
know
your
what you're talking
angle that
about.
you got to see it. But from my angle, holy crap, can that guy bend the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, just from my angle, seeing it from behind, holy smokes. Like if he ever dials that in, deadly. Just deadly.
One Bassett, real quick, I do want to talk about it. I thought he had a good game. My biggest issue with Bassett keeps being that he gets disengaged too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as something doesn't go his way or something goes to like it just misses an assignment or something, he immediately kind of starts pouting or kind of lets the effort level come down a little bit. And it's more of a mental thing than it's an actual play. And that's something I think it's just gonna come with more maturity, and I think it's gonna come a little bit with more play. And it's normal, especially as a 21, 22-year old. But I think that's just something he has to work on a little bit more, not letting the game affect you not letting the game affect you to the point where you're not affecting the game in that moment anymore. And I think that's something that Bassett has to work on a little bit more. But again, I thought tonight had a great night. I thought he was being he made the right runs to the wings that really allowed Ronan and Acosta to become the playmakers in that midfield. And once he got the ball, he was finding the right spots. He was creating everything he needed. And he became the connector between the line deep playmakers and the forwards. And I think that's what really helped the Rapids offense come back and forth, that he was actually a connector and not just another piece.
I think you nailed that.
For sure.
What do you guys think his game grade was tonight? Again, we use Spot Mom.
7.2.
From Bassett, I'm going to say 7.8. I thought he had a pretty good game. But I'm also looking at it from...
He also got a yellow. He got a yellow.
Who didn't get a yellow? Who didn't get a yellow? And I'll take some time to talk about these garbage refs on the show in a bit.
He had a 6.6. Only player worse was Yarby, who had a 6.5. Some yellows definitely pulled some scores down. Gutman was at a 6.9, obviously pulled down from the yellow. Rosenberry at a 7, pulled down from the yellow. Lalas with a 7.2, only because it wasn't an own goal.
That's so dumb. It is an own goal, 100%.
For sure, it was an own goal. No, go ahead.
That's why the eye test matters when you see these advanced statistics and grades. Eye test matters so much.
I know.
Because you see the game and it's
that's why we
flipped.
contextualize it.
Exactly. That's what we're good at.
And then Ronan and Maxsø combined both go for an 8.1. Which is the first. I would have to go and look at the rest, but I don't know if the Rapids have had two players go over 8 in a game this season. I mean,
I don't think they've had one.
They've had one here and there, but yeah, you're right. This was their best game by a mile. Maxsø's best game. I'm not going to call it Ronan's best game because he had 3 assists in a game, but man.
Can we talk about Ronan while you're there?
Go ahead. Preach, my brother.
So I watch Ronan differently now because Yahya is always criticizing him. Not in a bad way, just in a fair way.
He's hard on him.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes I need Yahya to kind of take fan lenses off of me, and so I can watch it in the right way. So let me preface it with that. I mean that in the best possible way. So, things I look for with Ronan, how much crazy running is he doing, just running all around, versus how much of a leadership role, field commander role, is he doing? And tonight it was very controlled. I think that Bassett, Gutman, Harris triangle is what allowed him to play the game that he needs to be playing. And what you saw from Ronan tonight was physically a game where he is out pointing players to get into the position they need to be in and really playing the role of the field commander that we were hoping he would step into, but he hasn't been able to because feels that he needs to run in to cover everybody else's position. So with that, that group of 3 that Yahya was mentioning earlier, it allowed him to play that position the way he needs to. And like B-Ray's saying, also with Acosta, again, helping him kind of step back a little bit, not feel that he needs to play too much, which puts him out of position and lets him be a bit of that field commander and get the ball to the right people or get the people to the right place to get the ball. I saw a lot of that from Ronan, in addition to the set piece and nice assist there. But I thought it was an excellent game from him tonight.
The best way, like you're completely right. The best way I can describe it is that he impacted the game without the ball at his feet.
Yes,
And
exactly.
That's what you need from a guy like Ronan. And that's what sometimes makes me upset with him, because I know he has that in him. I know he can do all these things. I know he has the speed to cover back when he's way too up. And sometimes it feels like he just is so focused on doing one thing and being one thing only, which is just getting assists and getting the ball out, which should be his primary, that he kind of forgets about the other aspects of being the midfielder and the captain of that midfield, the kind of the leader of that midfield. And I think today you explained it perfectly. He was out there dictating the midfield, not just trying to do what he knows how to do, but trying to get everybody to do what they know how to do.
Yeah, he didn't break any ankles today, which we love to see, but it's awesome for him to not have to do that, and feel that he needs to do all the Ronan moves that we know and love. It's nice for him to also be
Galvan broke some ankles.
So Yarby broke
so did
some
Yarby.
ankles.
I was gonna say
Yarby totally.
Dude, that was so sick. That was so sick.
After that, I'm like,
Yarby
if they
totally
lose this
worked
game,
Oh, that was dope.
can we talk about one thing real quick?
Are you gonna say the ref, because I have something queued up to talk about that?
No, not the ref.
Okay, we'll jump to that and then we'll do the ref. So go ahead.
Yeah. So before we go any further, I gotta take a victory lap, because I got yelled at a little bit on Thursday's show when I said I don't want the back five. It's not good for the Rapids. You can't create chances from a back five with the players you have on this field, on this team. The 4-3-3 today vindicated me to some extent that the 4-3-3 should be the way the Rapids should be playing. I think it's the way Frazier wants to play. And I think with a player like Gutman on your team, you can actually start playing that way because he covers so much ground. He can be that midfielder, be that left side, be a center back whenever needed. You create the triangles so you can pass back and forth. You can come back and I think it was the 4-3-3 to me is the way you go. And that doesn't mean that they're not playing back five, because if you go back and look at it on defense, their defensive was 4-4-2. They had two forward solid lines that let nothing get past them. And then they had Yappy and Bassett pressing. On the offensive side, I think they had a 4-2 another 4-4. It was 4-4-2 as well, with the two center backs staying back. But the difference was that the 4-4 on attack was so much fluid because every player was covering for each other. The game started and Yappy was all the way to the left. And then he immediately went to the middle. Harris was covering for Yappy down the middle. I think the 4-3-3, the 4-3-3 plays perfectly to what this team needs. And I think that's what they should do, because they have skill on ball and they can break the press. And I even have a note with multiple times they broke the press, and that's how they got those breakaways and they were able to attack the wings.
Bruv, wait until that back four is Maxsø Bombi in the middle of that back four. That is going to be electric.
I think
electric.
It's gonna be because now you have two like even deeper playmakers in Bombi and Maxsø that are really good with the ball at their feet. Then you have Gutman and Keegan that are also really good with the ball at their feet. And then now you just have playmakers in the back that can get you out of situations with an Acosta and a Ronan that are always looking to turn and go and go. That's what I'm saying. If you keep playing this formation, keep playing these tactics, you're gonna create chemistry. You're gonna create something to build on going forward, and that's exactly what I want for the Rapids. I want them to be able to just get together and figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. And if they do, I think maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but they'll definitely be improved by 2025, 2026.
This is the greatest soccer team on the planet. I'm just kidding. Look, I would also like to take a victory lap and say how right I was about adding a good left back to this back line and what an impact it can have. Because damn, dude, that was you saw it instantly. They actually didn't have to ignore an entire side of the field building up. You could build up either direction. You you could swing, you could, you have deep, like you can do quick, deep throws on either side. There's just so much you can do with him in there. So it was great. You were right. We were right. We're the smartest soccer podcast on the planet.
He truly is the left-footed Keegan.
He is. They're perfect for each other. And he looks just like Eric Ten Hag. It's crazy.
I was looking at him. I'm like, you look like Keegan if Keegan went bald.
Or Keegan if he went bald. That's funny. Okay, let's get into this ref. Rapids called for. Do you guys how many? Have you guys seen any of these stats?
I want to say 20 fouls and 5 yellows.
21 fouls, 5 yellows.
I was 21.
So close. 21. That's insane.
How many were Dallas called for? And
11.
Let's compare.
11. 1 yellow, I believe.
So half and then 1 versus
Correct.
5. What a piece of crap ref. This guy was garbage for 95 minutes. 96, because there was a minute of extra time in the first half. Garbage. I cannot believe that MLS keeps rolling out these clowns to come out and try to have any semblance of knowing what soccer fouls look like, how to officiate a game, how to come in and make sure that both teams have the chance to play the game when it's just constant clownery. This guy was awful. MLS should be ashamed of the referees that they keep rolling out. This guy should be docked money. I'm tired of getting the weekly update from MLS about which players, after they've reviewed stuff, are now getting fined or penalized in some way. They should be penalizing these referees after looking at their garbage play every fucking Saturday. I'm so sick of it. I hope MLS is watching. I hope this referee is watching. I want them to watch this and save it and listen to it over and over and over again, because they should be ashamed of themselves and they should not be working in professional sports. The guy was terrible. The end. That guy sucks.
The worst foul was when a Dallas player took a screamer off his face and he called a foul on the Rapids.
Oh,
he took a ball
that was
off
on
the
Gutman.
face.
That was on Gutman.
And it was on Gutman, and I think he got a yellow out of it. Maybe he didn't get the yellow.
He
there.
did.
No, he got it. No, he got it on the other one where he.
He got it later. Yeah, he got it later. But some guy stopped a ball with his face, and it was called a foul on the Rapids. It was so bad.
Just freaking garbage. I'm so glad the Rapids beat the refs tonight. I cannot tell you. The only team I hate more than FC Dallas is MLS referees. They are a team of garbage. They shouldn't even be in the league. Just awful.
All-time Duane
awful.
there. All right, guys, it's almost that time. Do we have anything we need to hit before we get into it?
Should we talk about the referees?
We just did. They're bad. Duane's mad.
The biggest thing with me was that they weren't calling it fair both ways, because the exact same fouls that were being called on the Rapids were not being called. A lot of them were fouls, because a lot of them I will see on TV, so I have a different angle, and I'm like, yeah, that's a foul. But then the exact same thing would happen on the other side, and it's like, keep playing, man. It's part of the game, and I'm like, what the hell?
Physicality
I spent high school and college playing hockey. I've seen harder shoulder checks tonight versus the Rapids that got 0 whistles than I saw him playing hockey. Just absolute buffoonery. Just horrible.
Get this man a Captain and Diet Coke quick. Let him ease into vacation here.
One last thing I want to talk about before we get any further, and it was effort. Effort was at 100 today, comparatively to what we've seen in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh God! I mean, compared to that St. Louis game, bro.
And there was clearly something there was clearly a message sent, because they started 4 new players over consistent starters this game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was clearly a message sent, and they were saying either you play well or we're not starting you. Cabral had been starting.
Yeah, look
and
at
they
the-
benched him and didn't play a single minute today.
Yeah, look up top. There was no Cabral, Lewis, Mikey in the starting lineup, or
And if-
Sam.
Exactly.
Sam.
And then you
Sam wasn't even in the 18. Oh no, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
also choosing Danny over Lalas, who has had a better season than Lalas, feels like there's a message being sent there as well.
Sure, because Lalas is always going to give you effort, whether or not he had a great game. You can't deny the energy, physicality.
The willingness to get in front
Yes.
of boss and get hit by them.
Yes, which he did, as
Yeah,
always. He always takes
exactly.
one off his face. Always.
And that's one thing. Give me Lalas at the end of a match for the 10 minutes over any defender on this Rapids team.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that he's going to do anything he can to not allow that goal in, except maybe score the goal. But that's completely it. But he will do everything. And that's the thing that I feel like he was trying to change. And that's the thing that why he was out there. It was an effort thing. It wasn't based upon his skills. It was about how hard he was going to go out there and play for the match. And that's one thing, as much as I shitted on Lalas today, I'll always give him that. He's an effort-based guy, and he'll always give it 110.
Look, it was you're right, because I think my biggest thing for the last month has been effort. Has been players disappearing for entire games. For like, oh, that guy's playing right now because you haven't heard his name called. He hasn't touched the ball, hasn't gotten into it defensively. I like this. The Rapids team is full of a bunch of them, and most of them didn't play today. And I don't think there's any coincidence that you saw a big change in the starting lineup. And you saw a big effort, and just all the intangibles were different. I wonder how much of that is also one new guy in playing, rumors of another new guy on his way, maybe playing Saturday. Guys probably going out. I mean, there's probably guys that know that there's conversations happening. We can't know that, but like the window's open. I'm sure they've gotten calls on some guys. And you can see it. You can see it.
Honestly, man, that was my biggest takeaway of the whole night. Effort and giving the kids a chance. I thought even though Yappy didn't score a goal, I thought he was doing the right things. And again, we're going to completely base him off. We're going to base him off production and what he actually does, and what, just like the team, we're going to base everything off production. The final say is how many goals you scored, how many games you won. And with Yappy, I thought I'm going to give him credit because I thought he was in the right spots at the right time, even though he couldn't get the ball to the back of the net.
Couldn't finish it. Yeah,
exactly, because I thought he did 99% of the job correct, except for the 1% that mattered. And you're still going to get shit on for that, but you do deserve credit for at least doing the 99%, even if it's a tiny bit of credit.
All right. Well, don't step on the next segment. Let's go and let's fire it up.
That's where I
'cause
really
that's where
like
we're headed.
this. Yeah, that's where I really like this lineup, though. Like to
Yeah.
kind of finish this, conversation is this was a good lineup,
Yep.
and we saw pieces and parts that were moving well together. The finishing is still a problem, but the balls were getting there, which we've not seen. So it's a step in the right direction.
Yep. All right. Fire up that graphic, my guy.
Which one? Let me see if I can find it. It's been so long.
There it is. There it is. All right. Who's up first tonight, guys? Who's getting the first bouquet? No, I want to go. I want to go.
I wanted to give it to you. I was going to give it to you.
You guys
Go,
don't get
Mitch.
to
Go.
Drew effing Moor, both literally and figuratively, got his flowers. What a legend, man. What a legend.
Well deserved.
Does he enter the conversation as one of the greatest Colorado athletes
Yes.
of all time?
100%.
Where do you rank him? Top 10? He has to be around.
In that range.
I think there's
in
three
that
Rapids
range,
players that can get that. 3 Rapids players are in the top 15 for sure of greatest athletes of all time in Colorado.
He's probably more on like the because he spent so much time not here, like a good chunk of his prime was not here. So probably, goes down to like the 15 to 20 range, but that's still an impressive list, right? Like, he's probably closer to 15 than 20, but somewhere in that stretch. The video where his kids were talking about him that was playing I don't know.
Did they show that on
They
season
didn't.
pass at all?
So his
You didn't
kids
see
were
any of
like
that?
on the field talking about him, and his kids are really young, right? So
Yeah.
just saying like, the cutest little things. And then his wife, just whatever she wrote was really nice. I couldn't quote it right now, but Jordan got the crowd going early. They play the video, and then Drew's speech brought the house down. You had members of C38 pulling up the banner that was covering up Drew. He's officially up there forever. I can't think of if you want to hear us wax poetic on Drew, just go watch the last segment from the studio show this week, because we just gushed over how much we love Drew Moor. But that was awesome. It was a great moment for a great dude, great player. Flowers to Drew Moor. There we go. That's what he said.
I did hear that on
He's a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
It was great. It was quite a moment. Really, I don't know. It's one of those moments I was glad I was there for. You know what I mean? Weird to not be there as a fan, because I really thought about that. Like, it's one of these ones where I'd probably get a ticket for.
Yeah.
Sure.
And to not be in that, not be able to just go crazy in the stands when that was happening was tough. Polite applause up in the press box, but nothing more. I don't know. It was a really cool moment. So flowers to Drew. Who's up next? Yeah, are you rewatching the game right now?
No, I'm just thinking.
He's
There's
watching
nothing on my
USC.
TV. No, there's actually nothing on my TV right now, like at all.
I've seen that face during post game so many times.
I'm just looking up right now. I'm not watching anything right now. I'm just looking straight ahead. Like, it says MLS 360 ended, and it's been on for like the last 40 minutes, and I haven't done anything. Just been staring ahead, doing nothing.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give some flowers, my guy.
I'm not gonna take them. I'm not gonna take the two obvious guys, because they're your guys' guys. But I'm gonna take kind of an awkward one, but one that I think is well deserved, and it's Galvan for scoring. I want to give Galvan his flowers because I thought he did a great job. I want to give I think he's getting back to the Galvan of old, little by little. I think they finally played him in the right position. They played him in a place that he could actually be, and that's why I think Galvan deserves some flowers on this one.
He had a good game from him in that his
temper was down.
Yeah, and I'm trying to say, like, you remember what he was doing on the field. You know what I mean? Like, in the flow of play is more important when you talk about his game than any incident where it looked like he was about to stab somebody. I think he played within himself, had some nice touches there, had that little get out of three defenders moment there in the first half.
I thought his crosses were good too, which is something that you cannot say for the rest of the wingers. Like, there's been 2 to 3 wingers.
Except for Harris. Season. Harris was good today.
That's what I'm saying. There's been like 2 or 3 all year that have actually been consistent. Him, Galvan's one of them, and Harris. And then there's a third one up for debate.
And then there's Gutman and Keegan.
Exactly. Yep. And that's about it. And that's what I'm saying. You were afraid of both sides of your Dallas.
It really was crazy seeing Gutman just come in and instantly make crosses happen. That was crazy. All right. Duane, go, because I think we're stepping on the next flowers.
It's Gutman. Oh man. What a treasure. What a delight.
See, this is not what I thought was gonna happen. I was giving you Harris
and play. I know. I thought about it. I thought about taking Harris, but it's okay. I'm gonna take the other part of that duo, because that duo is it, man. But we'll start on Gutman, and then we'll move over to Harris or whoever you like.
I thought you were gonna go Harris because your guy is Harris. Like, that's a guy
I love Harris. Yeah,
and
he's
Mitchell's guy is Gutman. No, and Mitchell's guy is Gutman. So like, oh, you guys are gonna like.
No, my guy's still on the board, baby.
Let me tell you, I am a Gutman guy, 100%.
You're
all in on having him. I'm full on Goot. I am Goot. So many good puns with his name too. No, I mean, everything we've said already. Somebody on Twitter, mentioned that I think it was Vikings. It was saying that, he's got that dog in him. Like, he is the dog. Like, it's not in him. That dude was the dog, and he was throwing it down, commanding those crappy players from FC Dallas. Just love to see him beating them down every time. Awesomeness. Yeah, total flowers. I am thankful that he's here. He's great.
I'm gonna give some flowers right here. I put into Google Translate what I wanted to say, but I don't think I can. I don't want to embarrass myself in Danish.
So that's who.
Hold on.
Jeg elsker Andreas Maxsø.
I love Andreas Maxsø. That is my guy. He scored a
know he
sick
did.
header. He finally got his head on one of those. Finally, I can just tell he's had so many games where I feel like this has to be a game where he's in that locker room, win or lose, where he knows that he is that DP level defender. This has to be his best game with this club.
And also, you could tell right away that he was defensively as well, that he was great. He didn't allow anybody to come in, and not just offensively, because he had 2 headers that almost went in, besides the one. So I thought you're right. Like, he was the guy tonight. He was your DP.
Yep.
He was your DP number 9 for a good 30 seconds.
And for him to do it on Drew Moor night too, that's so cool.
Yes.
It's so good.
And he was so excited. He had like multiple celebrations.
Yes.
It's like he just had to get them all out.
Yes.
which was great.
It's a tough season, obviously, there's some roster deficiencies, but that was a very good move. And, there's another good move that I'm sure is going to get flowers here in a second, but it's just nice to see. All right. Yeah.
For all the BS that we give Porig, he deserves a lot of credit for that one move because he brought in a guy.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Calvin effing Harris. The real Harris. Will the real Harris stand up? This dude came in and was a baller. He's the European young star you thought you were getting when you got Cabral. He is as fast, if not faster, because he's actually running in the right direction at the right spot. He was
what a take.
This asterisk in that left side. He was a monster. He was getting to the edge. Dude deserves all the credit. Super draft is becoming something the Rapids are going to focus on, I think, because Calvin Harris is a super draft guy, and so is Bombi. And you can have those 2 guys become stars. You are set for a while because they're both young, 23, 22, and you're good. I'm just such a Harris guy. Dude came in. The best thing, too, is that if you want to switch it up a little bit and you want to bring in another winger, and maybe you don't get your star striker. Maybe you put Harris as a striker and you let him play the false line a little bit more and you let Cole push up. Now you got flexibility in your whole lineup, and that's what I wanted. You got interchangeable parts that are actually good, and now you have different lineups, different styles of play that you can play with the same guys on the field. And now you're going to create chemistry, how you keep playing, and create an actual team that knows how to play with each other.
Very well said, my guy.
And let me say that we've not seen the full Harris. People are picking up on his speed right now, but he's also just, if you're watching on TV, you don't really see it. But he's a big dude.
He's
but
huge.
The other thing that we have not seen yet is the dude's got ups. Like, he's going to be scoring set pieces for us.
Put him and Navarro together right now. I need to see it
already. Yes, he's a big dude, and he can also fly, like vertical takeoff.
I want so bad for him to get the number 7 if Lewis leaves, and he can be CH7 instead of CR7. Be CH7.
I like.
And I want that so bad.
Okay. Side note: Mason Mount getting the 7. What is that? Give it to Garnacho. Okay, moving on. Had to get it in there. Duane, you're up. Drop some flowers, my guy.
I gotta go with one of my other guys, Connor Ronan.
There it is.
Excellent
CR20.
game. He just CR20, man. Just a solid game from our guy, just you really and again it's thankfully, because we're seeing it now, it's a team effort, right? When you have the Acosta, and you have the Bassett 13-14 connection happening, then you get to see Connor Ronan be at his best, which is helping make the team great. It's not just the skills that he has on the ball, but it's what he can do off the ball. Kind of like what Yaya was talking about, that makes him a great addition to the squad. And not to mention getting another assist. Just great night for the dude, and I'm super happy for him that he got to, I think, really play like the Connor Ronan game that we want him to be able to play.
He did a great job of impersonating Jack Price today.
He really did. He really
also
really
my guy.
Okay.
That spine was solid today.
Flowers are going to the crowd.
Crowd was fun tonight.
It was full, and it was full early. It was full before kick. I mean, it wasn't full, but it filled in, and then it was loud. Yeah. Man, I forget which terrible call it was, but I haven't heard that lively of a crowd that early.
Well, there were 21 to choose from.
Well, I know, but I mean, it was specifically early. I remember it was like within the first 15, 20 minutes, and I hadn't heard a crowd that early, that energetic yet this season. And what's crazy is I think the best crowds of this season are in like the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
When this team is at what was at its absolute worst, they were getting the best crowds. They get a win. They get 45 minutes of a home game on Wednesday. They get another whole home game on Saturday. And I hope they keep showing up like this, because it was really fun. It was really fun being in that environment.
I think
it was
part
great.
of it,
for sure.
I think part of it also becomes that it's kind of like baseball and kind of like football and basketball. You don't pay attention to the NBA until Christmas Day. You don't pay attention to the NFL till around November. It's just like you don't pay attention to the Rapids until it's about June, July, because then you have nothing else to watch. That's just the way it kind of works in sports. That
you've got other teams in Colorado winning championships, so
exactly, and
you
just have like overlaps, and it's for every sports fan. It happens to everybody. It's all of us, and if the fan is gonna get into it, and if there's the first game they come to, they had a great time because they got a bobblehead of one of the first 1,000, and you got to watch a game won by a really good team tonight. The team that played really well.
Yeah,
man.
You know what? One of my favorite things about the crowd was tonight.
Go ahead.
I love little kids holding the roster cards that they give out that are yellow cards.
Mm-hmm.
On every whistle, like, if there, the few whistles that we get against, the other team, just watching a sea of yellow cards being waved around frantically by little kids is hilarious to me. I just watched it happen all around the stadium, and it was so much fun watching that. It was totally great. I hope the Rapids continue with that tradition to put the yellows on the back of the roster cards, because it is so much fun. I will also give probably a take that most sports fans will not like to hear, is that unsuccessfully they tried to get the wave going tonight.
Thank God. I saw that.
I know. This is where people are not going to like me anymore. I would be okay with the wave at the dick. And the reason is
wave the dick.
Actually wave the dick. It's okay. No. Let me finish before you start grabbing on the wave like everybody else does. I don't think it belongs in baseball. It's weird. I've never been a fan of the wave, but I think when you have a big crowd and when they all are doing it in giant stadiums, it looks, I don't care. You don't have to tell me to stop, because I'm not. This is my opinion, and you're going to listen to it.
That's what happens. To win.
Wow. It makes sense
Get
for the
him.
Rapids.
No,
it makes sense
sucks.
for
It's
the
worst.
Rapids.
No,
It-
it's dumb,
And I think
hate
if it were to happen, I'd be okay with it. If the fans are having fun, they're getting loud, they want to do a big visual thing, then maybe it's time for us to stop being get off my lawn, grumpy guys, and just let people enjoy sports.
One thing,
Like,
real
that's
quick,
a- you
I will
know?
not let you. I will not let you use that point that the wave makes sense for the Rapids. I tried to use the wave the other day, and you're like, "That is ocean, not rapids." So you cannot say it makes sense for the
I'm
Rapids.
still gonna, if it makes the fan experience more visual and something's happening,
You're all
and
about
people
that.
are
You're all about
enjoying it.
visuals with the crowd. So I get
I
it.
am.
Yeah,
I
all right.
think
I don't.
people
I'm like
should enjoy the
50-50 on it.
game.
All
I
right,
don't.
do
I just think it's one of those things that people get so pissed about, and I'm like, really?
me.
Like,
I
are we
get
really
pissed.
getting
I think
this
it's the
pissed?
worst
It's
thing on the planet.
it's
Okay,
like when
first
people
of all,
get
I don't
pissed
think we should
about
be going
guys
this deep
wearing
on the wave,
covers.
honestly.
It's
I
like how
just
people
think
get
it's
mad
weird
at pineapple on
so
pizza
pissed
or
about
something
it.
like that.
Yeah, or like people like
why?
or
Because it
get
sucks.
angry
Not
about
pineapple.
dudes wearing cargo shorts, and they just like go off on it on Twitter forever, and I'm just like, if somebody wants to wear shorts that have pockets on it, screw it, let them have it. If people want to stand up and do this, like,
right.
you don't have to do it. Just enjoy it.
This is me reeling this
Enjoy.
back in. Is there any
Yeah,
more?
enjoy it, Mitch.
Is there any more flowers that we have to
Enjoy.
give? Is there any
Last
more?
one I'm gonna
any more
give
flowers?
personally. It's Kevin said it earlier. It's Robin Fraser, man, our guy Robin. We've been hard on him. Everybody's been hard on him. I think he gets flowers for this game. It doesn't take away all the good or the bad that he's done in the past. It just says for
Mm-mm.
this one game, he did everything correctly. He put the right lineup out there, and he got the team motivated enough to go out there and win. The team responded to him for a reason, and I think he deserves flowers for that because I think he actually did something. I think he did something that actually got people excited about a team, and he deserves all the credit for that tonight.
I hated his subs. Did you like the subs? I didn't like the subs at all.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's to me, it's not who else do you bring in. It's not the subs. I think it's the actual players he has on the team at
Yeah,
this
fair
point
enough.
that I'm not a fan of. Barrios, I was okay with. J. Lou, I think he was part of that problem in St. Louis, where like that for was kind of lacking. Don't want to call him out because I'm not sure if that was the case or not. But it felt like that. I thought today he came in and played better, mostly because he was just defending, and I
Yeah.
thought Barrios was an actual player that was trying to hit the counter. So as much as I think it's more the names, we're kind of tired of the names Lewis and Barrios coming in, as much as it is like the actual thing they're doing on the pitch.
Fair enough. I liked Prizo. I like Prizo coming on. I thought he was nice.
But again, you like Priso a lot more than
Wilson
you
was
like
nice.
Jair.
Well, no, but I mean, when they don't play well, I'm fine saying they don't play well.
Oh
I
no,
think-
and it's not that. But you
Yeah.
have more hope for Priso in the future than you have a Barrios or a Lewis.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't expect Barrios to be here next week, so I mean,
Exactly.
there you go. No, you're right. I mean, and just having the Huevos to turn that roster card over in such a dramatic way, I thought was really cool. Okay. Any other flowers? Am I missing any flowers? I think we kind of hit them all.
I think
It was-
Acosta gets a real quick rapid fire one that he
Maybe
played
one.
great.
Here's a flower.
Pew!
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
Keegan had not really a quiet game because I thought he was pretty involved. He was making really nice runs, kind of on the inside of Galvan, which was nice to see. Which is kind of a wrinkle for Keegan. We don't get to see a ton.
I think the thing is Keegan's level of play is so high up here for us that he has to have like an extraordinary game for us to really
Yeah.
notice, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And if not, we're just giving him flowers every week because I think Keegan is, I mean, the
He's
Iron
that
Man of
guy.
the team.
He's that
the
guy.
dude. Exactly. So
okay. Man, what do we? So let's talk this week. What do we got going this week, fellas?
we have a show
On Wednesday, post game.
Wednesday post game.
Dude, I can
Yes.
be home by like before 9.
What time is that game?
Oh no, sorry, 7:30. They play 45 minutes. I mean, I could still probably be home by 9.
Yeah, we should.
Or like 9-ish.
Honestly, and there's not going to be much to talk about the first half because I
Yeah.
don't remember it as much, and it's been so
but
long.
if they win, then we get another winners lounge.
Exactly. If they lose, it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Mickey Mouse off.
Mickey Mouse loss. And then if any big moves happen, I mean, there's a good chance we throw in a studio show or just a quick reaction show here on StreamYard like this. We've talked so much about the Navarro move that I don't think that move alone would trigger a show from us, but I do think combine that with any outbounds the same day or another inbound that we're not expecting, something like that, you might see us jump on here while Duane's on vacation.
Yeah, there might be things. I mean, it should be a pretty simple kind of week. It should be back to normal, and we should just kind of just keep an eye out. We'll usually post our times and everything throughout the day or week.
Yeah. And then Houston on Saturday. That should be a fun one. Real quick, 45-minute game coming in because it was 0-0 at the half. What's your final prediction for Wednesday? 45 minutes of action.
I think they don't have Evander. I'm gonna go 1-0 Rapids.
Woo! Who gets it?
Bombi, because he's gonna be back. He's gonna be re-energized.
He wasn't in the lineup though, so he can't.
That's
lineup,
true.
It's halftime suspension. So
I keep forget that.
Same lineup.
Okay. Then it's probably gonna be I don't know. Give me Bassett. I'm gonna keep picking Bassett till it happens.
Yep, that's a good one. Duane.
I liked the first half of the Portland game. I thought we were pressing pretty hard. I think that plus Noah Evander, plus Portland coming in on having to travel after a game and not getting a lot of rest, plus coming off of a win at home, I'm going to go 2-0 Rapids with Bassett and Yappy.
Wow, 2 goals in one half. That doesn't happen for Rapids very often.
I know, and they're not going to be set pieces. They'll be just regular goals. Let's see if it happens.
Whoa, crazy.
That's my vacation edition prediction for you.
Every bit of me wants to say that they found something here. They are going to take it to a win, get 3 home wins in a week. And because of that, I'm going to say 1-1. Because as soon as I think it happens, it won't. So 1-1.
I am buying a little bit into the hype. I think
Lawless.
More,
no, Yappy. Yappy is going to make up for that huge miss. Yappy.
It wasn't a miss.
Change the graphic.
We got
to change the graphic now.
Oh, wait. Did I already predict it? My bad. Okay.
I already made the graphics.
Never mind. Whatever I predicted on the graphic is my prediction.
You did predict a 1-1 though. You did have 1-1. Just different goal score.
Grant, here's how it happens. If someone who is on the field is transferred out, you are basically making a substitution at halftime. So it counts towards your 5 subs, but it doesn't count towards a substitution window. If it's someone on your bench is outbound, you just have 1 less person on your bench.
Yeah, you'll play with 17 instead of 18.
Correct. So that's how that works. Should be an interesting. I can't believe I have to drive out to Dixon back just for 45 minutes, but that's life.
That's weather in Colorado, baby.
All right, plug us out of here, somebody.
Too. It's gonna be hot.
DNV_Rapids and anywhere you follow on Twitter. Don't forget this 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, any of those places that you hear a podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Give this video a like. It helps the algorithm. It helps us. It shows the higher ups that we actually have people looking at our stuff and they like us, and it'll give us more stuff to do. So anything of that would be really helpful. Besides that, follow us on Twitter. You can find all of us under DNV_Rapids there. Just we're all retweeted on there, so you can go on there and follow us. Besides that, I don't know if you have anything else to plug, Duane.
Nope. I will sure miss you while I'm on vacation playing in Rio Rapids.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
I will. You guys are my guys.
You won't.
You guys are my guys. I will.
You will miss the Rapids, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You're getting the vacation before either one of us at the end of the month. So,
yeah. Ours is a little.
Yaya's already been on vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I hated it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you liar.
We'll talk later. There's other things going on.
All right,
I don't
guys,
even remember most of it.
Get your diehard membership at thednvr.com. What else? Oh, that means you get a discount at the bar. That means you get a discount on merch. That means you get free merch, get you behind the paywall, gets you into the Discord channels, tickets to things that only members get, or early tickets to things that everyone gets. And you get a cool diehard card that says you're a diehard. And that's cool. We'll see you Wednesday. But more important than all of that, the same way we always say it, and today we really mean it, baby. Up the pits.